Well, hello, everybody. How are you guys all doing tonight? Welcome to Mondays with Max. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Hoping I can make your Monday just a little bit brighter. All right. If that's not corny, I don't know what is. Well, let's see who is here tonight. We have Canadian Miner, who is first. Second, TL second. Gaming with Smokey Dan, Golden Wolf, Argon Strider, Kaiser, Alpha Mine, Chump Change. Wow. He's on time. Hurry up. I'm tired. Wah. Alpha Mine. All set. Let's see. Sorry, I'm missing. So I was trying to catch up on some of the things, but we will just go through this. Red Panda's here. Good to see you, sir. Glad you came back safe from your trip. Turtle Tech 56. Good to see you, sir. Saw that you commented on one of my videos. Thank you. Appreciate that. Always good to see you around. Steven Cicero, Crypto Tito. Good to see you. Mining King. Integra Guy 041. Not to be confused with Integra Guy 042. Just saying. Tim I Am Crypto. Travelers Travels. You know when it does that. Lester Dog I saw there. That's where I left off. Where was it? There it is. Okay. Hobbyist Miners here. Chuck Danger. Automatic Beats. Mr. Cutter. That's probably a little too old for most of you people here. No Excuse. 4J. TD. Crypto Perks. Burn. The Toxic Miner. Cincy Miner. Iraq Duff. I haven't seen you around. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Backwards Miner. Been putting out some good content. Let's see. Who else? Big Riders. Haven't seen you. I'll come back to that in a second because he has a question. If you do have a question, please tag me. In fact, I'm just going to put a test message in there just to make sure that you guys can tag me. Fudweiser is here tonight. Good to see you. Farmer Vincent, there's another new person. Appreciate you being here. And Gordon Murray gets in just under the wire. All right, well, let me go back to Big Rider's question. Hey, Max, I've been with Vast AI for a month. I have 2 pending payments, but nothing hit my Stripe account. How long for the first payment to come to my account? I don't use Stripe. I do know I've heard of a couple people having some issues that were on the Stripe side, I think. I wish Veteran Miner was here because I think he might have had those same issues. I'm not real sure. If anybody knows the answer to that question, please type it in the chat. Help Rig Riders out. Like I said, I use PayPal. It's a little bit more expensive, but I already had a PayPal account. I didn't have a Stripe account, so I just went with that for the time being. Probably will eventually transition to Stripe because it is significantly cheaper, like 3% versus 1%, something like that. So yeah. Kaiser Tag, you're it. All right. All right. Yes, please hit those like, thumbs up, much appreciated. And if you, especially all those new people, if you like what you hear, appreciate it if you can become a subscriber. It is free. The best 4-letter word there is in the English language. All right. DJ Minds is here, putting a 22 in the chat. Big PP energy. All right. Well, let's start with the unboxing. I did get a 4090 specifically for Vast. I'm kind of now thinking I might do a hash rate test first, possibly. I don't know. Haven't decided on that yet. I was just thinking about that tonight. I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if I did a hash rate test first and then put it on Vast. But then I'd have to, I guess I could boot it up via US, like a Hive OS USB or something. That wouldn't be too hard. Or I could just put it on. Yeah, I've got room on a rig downstairs. I could just put it on the rig in the basement. Decisions. I will have to figure that out. All right, let's see if there are any questions besides that one. Like I said, please tag me, otherwise I will not see your question. And I want to hit everybody's questions, but yes. And of course, everybody knows that I don't read the rest of the chat unless I'm tagged. So I miss everything. So you guys can like make fun of me and all that kind of stuff, which you usually do. So that's cool. All right, let me grab the GPU. So I had been doing some calculations, and I'll go over those in a little bit. And I will make a video out of it. I had planned on making a video out of it, but couldn't keep my eyes open yesterday. I was pretty darn tired. This thing is, you've heard of Chonky Boys, right? This is the Chonky Boy. Well, I guess all the 49s are pretty chonky, but this one is big. Just making sure I get the tape off so I can put it back if I ever have to. Well, that wasn't very smart. Put the tape back where I need to pull it off again. All righty. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me pull it back a little bit because it's kind of big to bring close to the screen. Anyway, that is definitely got some serious thickness to it. So, and you might be asking, well, why did I get this one? Well, the NVIDIA ones are next to impossible to get, first of all. Second of all, I watched a bunch of, well, I should say second of all, because this one was in stock and it was the only one in stock. So then when I knew it was the only one in stock, then I started looking to say, how good is this? And it actually had the best thermals. I know, right? Gigabyte with the best thermals? Are you kidding me? That's would they overcompensate from their 3000 series? So I guess they did, because Hardware Unboxed ran tests, and while they did like the Asus Tough better than this one, they couldn't deny the fact that this one had better thermals. So yeah. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I mean, it's a good looking card. It's plastic on the outside. It's got a plastic shroud, no question. But the good thing is that this time the shroud doesn't cover up the heatsink. So free flowing air. It's a very tight heatsink. And there's kind of design decisions on that. It doesn't flow, air doesn't flow as freely through it, but it does give it more surface area. So there's a law of diminishing returns there. Not sure in the 4000 series which one was found to be better, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. The rig parts I have are coming tomorrow. So the processor, all the stuff I still need is coming. So anyway, I'll be looking forward to getting that up and running, because that will make a decent amount of money. If you look at, well, here, let me bring up that spreadsheet if I can find it amidst all my tabs. It should have been a pretty recent one I was looking at. Let me do this sheet. There it is. All right, let me make it bigger so that you guys can see it. Even a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let me share that now. Ivan, sorry. The rest of the spec is a 5800 and 64 gig of DDR4 and 2 terabit NVMe. I think those are kind of really the key items. And I got a 1,000-watt power supply. Wasn't gonna mess around. 850 probably would have worked, but you never know with the tangents. So I just thought better to be safe. I went with 1,000-watt. But one of the reasons why I didn't use one of the 7810s for it is this is like where they're actually starting to, they could have saturated a PCIe 3. At least that was the thinking, with 16 lanes. So I thought this is the one time I wanted to definitely go PCIe 4. All right, what did I do with that? I want to share the entire screen. That makes it a lot easier. There we go. And add to scene. There we go. So this little spreadsheet I put together of what the expected revenue was per hour. And where I got this was from a website. In fact, I will pull that up as well. Woven video. Got to go through a couple of things. Vast AI Analytics, Vast AI Analytics. Then it pulls it up. So this is the key thing though that I look at is if you look at these circles on the bottom, these half circles on the bottom, those are suggested low price. And again, this is verified. Let me switch to unverified. Well, actually, let me leave it on verified. The low on a 4090 verified is over 37 cents. 37 cents. The mid suggested is 45 cents and the high is 50 cents. So when I go back to that spreadsheet, you'll see I'm definitely being conservative in the fact that I'm looking at unverified and I'm using 29 cents. Actually, it went up a little bit. It was closer to 29 than it was to 30. Now it's at 0.297. So anyway, I have it at 29 cents in my calculation. So if we go back to the spreadsheet, so you got a 4090 at 29 cents per hour at up to 600 watts. I basically did it so that the processor plus the GPU should only go at about 450 watts. And the processor plus the rest of the computer, I just said 600. Should be a high estimate on an ongoing basis. Yes, you can get some tangents, but that should be a pretty good estimate. So the profit per day is $6.89. If you look at this, I've taken, and I also have the cost of electricity at 11 cents because that's what mine is. At least it has been that for the last 2 months, although mine changes because it is variable. But I range anywhere from 10 to 12 recently, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But of course, I just said that out loud, so we'll see. Anyway, so 689 is based upon C4 times 24, so 29 cents times 24, minus D4 times the rate of electricity, divided by 1,000. So basically 600 watts, because this is the cost of electricity per kilowatt hour. So basically it's 0.6 times the cost of electricity times 24. Oh, maybe I didn't. Did I not do that right? D4. Oh, I guess I did not do that right. D4 times that divided by 1,000. Yeah, that's only for 1 hour. I got to multiply that times 24 as well. So all right, so it's 538. And I got to change that for all of these. So I just put this together. So I wondered if there might be a few mistakes in here. So anyway, so 538 per day profit. That's after electricity. All right. Then profit for 30 days, it makes $161. Cost to acquire it. I basically have about $500 for the computer parts and then $1,800 for the GPU, including tax. So that's where I came up with the 2,300 and the break even in months. I don't know why this is in but it shouldn't be. All right, well, more formats. Let's do plain. No, let's do number. There we go. 14.26 months. So gonna pay it back relatively quickly. And that's assuming that the price doesn't go up. It's possible it could go down, no question. But hopefully that I will get verified at some point in the first 6 months. And that I'll be able to raise the price on that. And that's another reason why I've spec'd it out the way I did, to make sure that it looked attractive to Vast. So anyway, so 14.26 months, and then 2-year profit after capital expenditure is $1,500. Then if you assume like a 90% utilization, which isn't exactly right, this is slightly worse than 90%, you're still looking at about $1,200. So I've been pricing it relatively conservatively so that it is rented almost all the time, actually. I've started to be a little bit more aggressive on the 3060 rigs that I have, the two 3060 rigs. And I did have one that took a little bit of time to get back re-rented, but I was kind of being a little more aggressive than I usually am. And yeah, it takes a little bit. So you have to kind of toy back and forth, which is more important, to get re-rented for less time but be more profitable during that time, or be rented all the time but be less profitable. So there is a happy medium, but being able to figure out exactly what that is next to impossible. You're never going to be perfect. All right, so S Chang said, what did you do with your Vast AI earnings? Well, I haven't earned that much yet, but so far I've just been putting it into more Vast rigs. That's what I've been doing. In fact, I've been getting paid out to PayPal, and when I bought the last two 7810s, I just took it out of the PayPal account that I had in there, and everything in the PayPal account was from Vast. Gaming Smoking Dan says, Max becoming a GPU imp, renting out his rigs and giving them slaps when they don't have his money. That's a good one, Gaming Smoking Dan. I like that. That's funny. All righty. Anybody got any questions about that? I'll also have to make a correction down here as well, because this is the verified. And that would be really nice. Somewhere in the range of $4,500 to $5,000 from one GPU. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, is it necessarily going to happen? Nope, not going to necessarily happen. But I've got a lot of room to still make this a really good decision. And by the way, with bull runs coming, what do we think that GPU prices are going to do? Probably not going to go down. So I like my chances of being able to benefit if I decide, you know what, I'm out, and be able to release these GPUs in 2 years or so and be able to get a good amount of money for them. In fact, more money than I paid for them. So yeah. So anyway, so right now, what I'm planning on right now is obviously have that one. I have a 3060 rig almost done, but it is giving me problems. So one of the things about the T7810s is they're a little quirky when it comes to loading Ubuntu onto them. So I was having trouble getting it to accept the USB that had Ubuntu on it. It did finally accept it, and I loaded it and then went to go reboot it, and it didn't work. And it's supposed to reboot in legacy compatibility mode, but supposed to reboot in UEFI. And when it boots up there, it's like, sorry, I can't tell what the heck you're trying to boot from. I can't find the drive. But when I go to the bootloader by hitting like F10, F11, I think it's F10 or F12. Anyway, I hit them both just to make sure I got, but anyway, it goes into the bootloader. And when I hit load Ubuntu UEFI, it boots right up. So if anybody's got any suggestion on that, let me know, because man, it is frustrating. So all right, I'm scrolling down to see what other questions. Kaiser says, can we use your Best Buy account to get 4090s? No. It's Sunflower Mama's fault. She won't allow me to do that. Otherwise, I would. Good one, Kaiser. Wait a minute. Panda planning PP pump. Okay, I don't think I even, man, I don't even think I want to know about that. I don't have store credit. Well, I kind of do, because it's on a Best Buy credit card, but it's a Best Buy Visa card. So yeah, no, she doesn't allow that either. But nice, thanks for asking. I always say you can ask any question you want as long as you don't get mad at the answer. Oh, I hate this freaking thing. All right, I got to figure out how to get rid of the darn heart. How did somebody say to get rid of that darn heart? Customization. Live reactions. Does that get rid of it? I think it does. Nope. Oh, yep, gone. Excellent. The heart is gone. I have no heart. Oh, really? I can't? Sunflower Mama says I can't. I think I can, and I just did. Anyway, or were you saying I can't give out my credit card information? Yes, I didn't figure you would like that. I'll put it on her. So Little Nicky says my 3070 is rented, making an average $1.20 a day. I don't think it's $1.20 an hour. My 3070 is making more than that. It's making like $1.60 a day. So go to Woven Tech. What did I do with it? Oh, over here. Go to Woven Tech, and like I said, you can select your GPU. I'm assuming you're unverified. Most of us have gotten into this relatively recently. And then, like I said, check those 3 semicircles on the bottom. So 245, 297, 345. And then you can also look, and this is what I also suggest, is look at what is not rented, what is vacant, and what is, what are those that are vacant? Is there anything where you're like, oh, well, shoot, this is a PCIe 1, of course nobody's going to rent it. I'm sure those are out there, but I always click the price so that it's going from smallest to largest, and then look to see, what is their reliability. 98.62. Okay, it's relatively new. They're also charging a ton of money for storage. That's why they're not rented. 95 cents per terabyte. The standard is 0.15. So that's what most people go with, is just go with the standard. So that is a good reason why. So again, this is why you look at this. This is 95.34%. Yeah, probably because it's new, probably not going to be rented. 98.45, again, 0.95, not going to get rented. 99.42, this one, again, higher storage cost. I think that's kind of what is hurting this one. 98.74, again, standard. And this one is at 0.3. But you can see there's 4 different ones, and they all have reasons why they aren't rented. And if you do it at 0.29, 297, you're going to be in a really good ballpark that you should get rented. So one of the things I'm going to be toying with is I'm going to set the expiration on a rig that I initially set up, I'm going to set it for 2 weeks because that gives me an opportunity to get a much higher reliability. But if you set like a month out, well, you're going to have to wait a month to kick off whoever may take advantage of having a lower rate. Because in order to get rented when you just start, typically need to have a lower rate. Not always. I've heard of people getting picked up, but typically that's what I've seen. All right, let me see. Little Nicky, are you talking about the Woven Tech or the wovenvideo.ca? That's what you're talking about. Let me go ahead and drop that in here. There you go. All right, let me see. What else might you guys be talking about? And hey, tell me what, again, tag me, please. Tell me what projects you guys are working on. I mean, that's honestly the fun of this community is all the different things we're working on. I know that I'm kind of really looking a little bit more at that spreadsheet, making sure I've got all my numbers correct, which obviously just taking another look at it after creating it 2 days ago, I found a mistake. So that's the reason why I didn't want to do a video on it yet. I will also, I can't pull it out of there, but I do have the riser card that I'm using, riser cage, I should say, that I'm using with the 7810. I'm going to be doing a unboxing review type of thing with it. Love it. It works really, really well with the 7810. It basically connects via magnets directly to the top of the power supply, which puts it in a really good position for cooling. Ivan asks, you don't recommend to run the 4090 on old X99 Xeons, 12 to 14 cores? I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but those are going to be PCIe 3, I believe. Any of the Xeons that are compatible with PCIe 4, no, it'd be fine. Nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to run it on a regular rig due to size constraints. That was part of it. Anyway. Gaming with Smoky Dan says, working on upgrading GPU rigs with B550 motherboards, which have now been ordered, using the B450 boards to make CPU rigs, also waiting on the Supers plus 8000 series CPUs. Yeah, the Supers are going to be really, really interesting. One thing I've noticed, because I thought about it, I'm like, do I want to wait? And I'm like, no, Supers aren't going to be out for a while, and it's going to be a while before you'd get any type of adoption with Fast. And if you look at, like, I'll just show you 4070s. There's very few of them, and so they're really not getting what they're worth on Fast. I have one 4070. See, like, look, this says unverified. I have to actually put in 1 in order to get the data. And you can see there's just very, very few. This one's at 0.075. This one's at 0.08, 0.085, and 0.095. And then we look at the ones that are vacant, which is 2, which is one way up here, which is at 11 cents. Or is that, no, that's only one. It says there's 2 that are vacant. I'm not sure where the other one is. I don't see it. Maybe it was vacant and not anymore. I don't know. But right now, when you're looking at this, you're like, well, heck, then you should be able to get at least 0.094, again, be just under the last guy that's rented. But you usually have to wait a little while because people aren't actively looking for the 4070. It's like, there's certain things that are sought after. 4070s aren't necessarily sought after. So yeah, having so few of them out there and almost all of them rented, people just don't look. So that's what is unfortunate. It'll be really interesting though with the 4070 Supers, because 4070 Supers looks like that's going to be the huge upgrade. Let's see. Kaiser says, does it make you feel bad after getting rented. I usually have to take a long shower afterwards. No, it does not. It actually gets me kind of excited. So there you go. Um, that can be taken lots of ways, but no, I get really happy when I'm like, yes, it's rented. Anybody who's on Vast knows that that's the feeling you get. You're like, come on, somebody rent it. Yes, somebody rented it. It's good making money. So nobody wants 3080s on Vast. I don't think it's that nobody wants 3080s on Vast. I've just honestly, I've just heard of a lot of people having problems with 3080s on Vast. And I mean, it's probably all anecdotal, but yeah, I don't know. So, well, let's take a look. 3080 unverified. Yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't look like it because getting only 8 cents median. The suggested mid price is 0.097. That's not very good. Not for what a 3080 is or what a 3080 costs. 0.115. I mean, let's go to verified, see how much better that is. I mean, it'll be better. So 0.151, 0.166, 0.126. I mean, it's good, but you know, I look at what you have to invest. I mean, these 3060s are going for, I mean, I got the last one I got was for $200. Go was telling me, oh, I'm asking 150 for those. So, I mean, probably could have gotten it for less. It was just super, super convenient. The guy was in the next town over. You know, it was a good negotiation. And yeah, I mean, I basically from beginning to end, I could have had the card in my hands in less than an hour, but I had some things going on, so I had it in my hands in 3 hours. I mean, it was super easy transaction, and I had basically no transportation cost for it. So, you know, you got to take that into account too. If you got to drive 100 miles to go get it, well, how much in gas and wear and tear on your car does it cost to go get the GPU? And if you really, you know, are saving $50 by doing that, you might just be breaking even. It might be better off trying to buy something closer for $50 more. So keep that in mind as you're deciding, you know, how far out you want to go get one of these or whatever you're looking for. So yeah, I don't understand why 3080s. I mean, I guess I kind of do because most of them are 10 gig. So they don't make a distinction between 3080 12 gig and 3080 10 gig when you look at this and when they calculate it. So yeah. Now, what's interesting is, I mean, they all just could be underbidding because if you look at how many are rented, you know, the one that isn't rented, the first one that's not rented is at 14 cents. Well, I guess that's for verified. Let's go back to unverified. Yes, I mean, you got some ones that are like stupid low at 5.5 cents. I'm wondering if you're making any money at that, depending on your what your rate is, what your electric rate is. That's the other thing you got to keep in mind with this. It's just because you're making money, just as with mining, but in this case, the cards are generally going full bore. There's not like you can, I mean, you can actually, if you want, you can throttle your cards, but that's going to show in your performance scores and could affect how much you would earn. I have actually thought about taking each one of my 3060 rigs and throttling them at different rates and see what it does and seeing how it might affect my earnings on each one of them. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. One thing I would have to do is I would have to decide to do that at an expiration time for all 3 rigs, because I wouldn't want to put somebody who has decided that they're going to jump on at a given rate and they're going to stay on as long as they can at that rate because they're satisfied with the rate and they're satisfied with the performance. And then all of a sudden I pull the rug out from under them and say, oh yeah, you were getting 100% before. Yeah, sorry. Nah, you're only going to get 80%. So if you don't like it, jump off. I don't think that's the right way. It's not like we interact with these customers, but like to do what's right. So, all right. So Kaiser says, What about the rates between the A100 and the H100? I haven't looked at those cards because those cards are like unobtainium for me. That is a lot of money. Now you can make a lot of money, but I haven't done the math on that. Yeah, I do want to expand out the spreadsheet that I created, but that type of thing is going to require a bit more effort if I'm going to include like the system cost in it as well. The only one, by the way, that I included the system cost with was the 4090, just because I wanted to know in that particular case what my break even point was. So Gaming with Smoky Dan says, so would you say that VAST and other AI deep learning is like running on Kapow 24/7 due to power use and heat generated? And no, it's actually more. It's actually more. So you're usually running fewer cards though, but you're running high wattage on your GPUs. Now, because not everything's like super close together, you give them some space, you give them some ventilation, and they do fine. Obviously, when I had them both running in the 7810 right next to each other, where there was like no air in between them, yeah, they didn't do very well. Hence the reason why we did the ribbon cable and got one of them out of the case. But yeah, so far I haven't had any issues with heat. The one behind me probably runs the hottest. I don't remember exactly what it's running at. Let me take a quick look. I think that's it. And I still have everything rented, so that's good. And that one is running at 70C. So not super high, not super low, but like my other 3090 that is NVIDIA and it's in like more like an open air. It's actually sitting on top of a motherboard tray, basically, is what it is. I don't know how else to explain it, but basically it's an open air computer case is the best way to put it. And yeah, and it's running at 54. So that one obviously is a bit more constrained and operates in a little bit warmer room. Downstairs is cooler right now. I have the window open downstairs. That part of the basement is cordoned off. And yeah, and they get good airflow. All right, let me go back. Oh, I hate it when I do that because now I got to be able to. Oh, there. No, that's not it. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And in fact, I am going to pop out the chat. So what the heck? I did pop out the chat and then it went away. There it is. It's trying to. Come on, computer. Stop doing that. There we go. And I really don't need that for right now. So we're going to put that there. Yeah, I mean, bottom line is if it's 5,000 watts of mining or if it's 5,000 watts of vast AI, you're definitely okay. Sunflower Mama's going to scold me about something. Hold on a second. Yes. Okay. All right, bye. She says close the window, so I will close the window. There we go. I was talking about it just a little bit ago. All right. Sunflower Mama is in Florida visiting her sister, in case you did not know. So she is not right there. Now, I did just upgrade her PC from a 3060 to a 3060 Ti because 3060s do well on VAS and 3060 Ti's do better in a computer than a 3060 for most people. Obviously, the difference in the VRAM can be can have an effect on some people, but for her, 3060 Ti will actually be better. So Black Sales said, what is my up down speed on Vast AI? So according to Vast AI, I am, in fact, hold on a second. I got to change something here real quick. There we go. We're going to move this. Come on. Got to move this tab over. There we go. Now I can move this back. There we go. Okay. So right now on most of my rigs, I'm at about 35 up, and I mean, average is about 350 down is where I'm at. I have not seen where it's been an issue. And well, I'm surprised there has been no conflict as of yet. I'm expecting there to be some eventually. In fact, I'm going to check. Nope, no messages in Discord for my monitoring of my nodes. So they should all still be up and running. They've been running nonstop without any issues. They recover really well. One of the things I did in the basement was because some of you may not know, but I had a PDU appear to fail. I haven't gone back and tested it yet because I have to take everything down in order to do that. So I'll probably end up doing that at the end of November, since that's when all of my fast AI rigs expire. And expiration, just so you know, is self-imposed. You can define when you want the expiration, and you can extend it whenever you want. And then it's up to the client to decide whether or not they want to extend it beyond the original expiration date. And again, the client can jump off at any time, even if they said the expiration date was at that time. So, okay. So yeah, basically 35 up, 350 down is what I'm currently at. Hoping to get some improvement on that in the next couple months. That would be awesome. Would really, really enjoy that, Comcast. Considering the guy across the street already has better upload. Makes me mad. All right, let me go back to the chat. Second TL. Oh, okay. Second TL said, how are you dealing with potential flux and VAST ports overlapping? I've only had it happen once. I did let Jeffkey know about it. He did not have an answer. I do know that you can, it's up to 100 ports or something that you can say don't use these on your node. Well, I'm giving each one of my VAST AI rigs 20 ports. So I'm going to be up to 8. That's 160 ports. So that exceeds it. So at this point, I've only had one conflict, and it didn't take my node down. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what comes of that. Padawick Miner says, do you get lots of short-term rentals? My 3090s are being rented for a day and a day there, a day here and a day there. But in contrast to my 3070s, they are rented solidly for weeks on end. Well, I think the key is if you have a miner that is renting you, then you're going to be on consistently. If you have what it's really intended for, which is like AI rendering, that type of thing, I think that you're going to have more of that off and on. So yeah, that's what from what I've seen. Kaiser said, wait for the Xfinity update. I now get 600 down and 112 up for $50. Yeah, my price should not change. This has been where, hey, we're not changing any of our stuff. We're going to, so yes, so for 600 down, yes, they maximize it to 100 up. Yes, they always exceed it. It's 112. So when I get 200, I'll probably get closer to like 240, 230, 240, something like that would be my guess. I know when I ran a speed test from my router, which I've now been blocked out of it because I tried running it too often. But anyway, when I tried running it, when I did run the speed test directly from the router, I was getting over 1.4 down. Now, I can't realize that from any one computer, but I can get use all of that if different inputs into my router, because it has a 2.5 gig connection between the gateway and the router. So yes, the router can get 1.4 and distribute that. So if I've got my VAST rigs needing say 300-400, whatever it is, and I'm using 1, Well, yes, that'll work because I've got like right around 1.4. Yeah, Ovalbore Tech DOCSIS 4.0 is great, but slow to roll out. Well, that was what was interesting is they just did an announcement on it. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like overpromise, underperform. You like get everybody like salivating over DOCSIS 4.0 and having, synchronous upload and download. And what are you doing? We're talking a year, 2 years before most people probably will see DOCSIS 4.0. And hey, you know what? If I'm wrong and they're rolling out DOCSIS 4.0 at the beginning of next year and totally bypassing the 200 upload, oh my God, that would be awesome. I would be so happy. So happy. Yeah, Gordon Murray. Xfinity is full of crap. They've been saying over a year they were upgrading the network, but still haven't done it. Well, that's not actually true. They have upgraded the backbone. They definitely have been doing that. And those were the first steps they had to take in order to handle the increase in traffic that this is all going to bring. But don't announce it. Don't announce it until you're really getting there. So they did a little bit better job with the 200 meg upload, because they really announced that only like either right as they released it to the Northeast, but I didn't live in the Northeast, so I don't know how slow it was to release. They made it sound like, yeah, everybody can get it last year about this time. So I don't know if people could actually get it or not, but yeah. Let's see. Good morning, Mr. Robert Burton. Appreciate you being here. All right, I'm just making sure I didn't miss any up above. I'm curious, what camera and what lenses are you using? So I'm using a ZV-1, and I'm using a wider angle lens from Ulanzi, along with the standard one that comes with the ZV-1. And I think it does pretty well. I mean, I wanted something better than my cam, because those things are crap as far as quality in the picture. They're good for what they are, doing conference calls and things like that, but definitely wanted to upgrade. So spent like between $700 and $800 for the setup, which included multiple batteries. I bought it off of somebody else in the community. So anyway, definitely been very, very happy with it. Absolutely love it. I don't have really any reason to upgrade it. It's not like the flashiest or anything like that, but it does generally just work. Occasionally I'll have problems with the HDMI to USB converter, but I usually can get by that just by, unplugging and plugging things in. I just had that like about a week ago where I had an issue with that. Let's see. Gaming with Smoky Dan says, do you know of a modem PCIe card that I could use to make a built router, and thoughts on doing that as have a PC with pfSense on it and want as my router, so it is all in one? That's a better question for King. But you're saying modem PCIe card. Generally, a router isn't gonna. You're looking at making it a gateway. I don't think that there is like a cable gateway card that you can put in your PC. You can put multiple network interfaces into your PCIe in order to make it a router. Yes, you can definitely do that. There's ones I think that are 4. And if you have multiple PCIe slots, again, you can use multiple PCIe slots to get more ports. Yeah, and that's the other part of it. So Geek of All Trades makes a great point. The TP-Link router is only $60, great for software-defined networking. There are definitely some very inexpensive routers that are very, very good. Mine uses Router OS. It's MikroTik, and I ended up getting it on sale, so I spent just over $130 on it. was the best $130 I think I've ever spent. I mean, you guys have seen me complain and complain. Oh, by the way, since I got that router, IP address has never changed. Not once. Not once has it changed. So all of that bitching and moaning to Comcast. So public apology to Xfinity. I am very sorry for abusing you about changing of IP addresses, because it was obviously, at least anecdotally, had nothing to do with Comcast. It had everything to do with the router that I was using. It was a consumer-based router that most people aren't going to care if their IP address changes, but maybe it was a safety feature in those. I don't know, but it drove me batty, absolutely batty. Oh, thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Glad you like the image. Well, you like the clarity of the image. This may not be what you're looking for, but you know, hey, sorry, this is what 55 looks like. At least the hair's good. Please tell me the hair looks good. Anybody know what movie that's from? Oh no, it wasn't hair, it was hat, but anyway. But anyway, so I absolutely love my MikroTik. I know I've talked about that before. And yes, it does take some getting used to, some time learning on it, but there's projects that I want to use on that. It does have the ability to interface to a flash drive. And so I want to put a Ubiquiti, what do they call it? Hang on, I'm trying to remember what the heck it was called. It's like a Unify something or another on there. Anyway, right now I have to, if I want to interface to my my switch, my Ubiquiti switch, my 48 port switch, and see what's going on in there and do any type of networking with it, I have to run something on the computer and then go to, so I don't want to have to run that on my computer. I'd rather have it running on the router in order to do that, or running on some other device. So yeah, but you do have the ability to run containerized applications on the MikroTik. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a shot. Any other questions? Yeah, ARC's crypto and mining. I have 45 and have less. I'm 45 and I have less hair. Yeah, that's all the genes. Mom had a lot of hair. Dad, he's not bald. I mean, he's got kind of the going back here, but that's just gradually receded with age. It's not Cloud Key, it's something else. But I know what you're talking about, Geek of All Trades. It's similar to that. Like I said, what they're running is something what I've got on my computer, and I wish I could remember the name of it. It's like server or something. But it's not Cloud Key. Let's see. Oh, Ovalvortex getting fiber. Yeah. Yeah. Lucky you, man. Lucky you. All right. Well, I'm going to have to spend some time with this thing, because I'm probably going to have to reinstall it. I have to reinstall Ubuntu again and hope that this time it takes the right way. I don't know. It's really, really strange that I can get it to boot up off of the PCIe drive, the NVMe, when I go into the boot manager and then select UEFI and then Ubuntu, and I go into the BIOS and make sure that I select that. So I don't get it. I don't know why it does that. And if anybody, yeah, basically that's what I'm running from the computer, 4J, Unify OS console. And geez, you're gonna make me look it up, because it is really, really bugging me. Networkberg is the guy's name that has all of this knowledge. Unify MikroTik. Let's see if it pulls it up. Oh, interesting. I'm going to have to look at that because I do have a Unify access point that I haven't installed yet. And I have thought about doing that as well. Huh. So I guess there is a way to run a, oh, here it is. Just a casual Unify, or that was from a while ago though. Huh. I know he's got something on there, but anyway, Network Berg is the guy that does it. I think he specifically did it on the HAP 3, which was the one I have. And well, maybe it was about a year ago when he did it. Don't know. Alrighty. So Robert Burton, what's not working? So Ubuntu on the T7810, I loaded it and I booted up via UEFI, and it loaded just fine. But it was weird because I went into I went into the bootloader and the UEFI option wasn't even there. So then I tried loading up via the USB, loading up via the USB in legacy mode, and wasn't working there either. Then I tried it again, and then it did work, but it always comes up really fluky in legacy mode. It doesn't install correctly when you use legacy mode. So then I went back to the bootloader, and then all of a sudden the UEFI was showing up. So I'm like, all right, let's load it via UEFI. So I did that, went to go reboot it, wasn't seeing it. And the USB was out, but it wasn't seeing it. So then I went to the bootloader, went to UEFI, boom, went. And I'm like, okay, fine. Let me go double check my settings in the BIOS. And I went in there. No, it's selecting UEFI Ubuntu. It's selecting the same option that I'm selecting via the bootloader. So I don't get it. I don't understand why it's doing it. So I'm going to try it one more time with reinstalling it. I'm actually going to, I'll just reinstall it because I forgot. Yeah, it'll wipe it. I was going to say, do I need to clean it? Because that would be a real pain to try to have to clean that drive. But no, I'm good. I don't need to do that. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions. I think this time I may try to load it from a different USB drive. Maybe that might be the issue. I don't know. Worth a shot. I have not checked the latest firmware. This one was actually a lot different than the other ones I had. Wait a minute. D-band for the win. What are you saying, Geek? I don't know what he was responding to, but anyway. So do I have the latest BIOS? So I don't. This one was strange because it had a BIOS admin password. So I had to remove. Oh, dban is a drive wipe tool. Yeah, I could do that, but no, secure boot is off. I'll double check it, but it is said when I'm going in there, it says secure boot is off. So, but that's actually a really good question. I will actually double check. Heck, nothing like checking right now, right? So you will probably hear some sound because it's gonna get loud because I have the fans on this thing set at 60%. So let me turn it on. And then I'm gonna need to hit F2. Well, I guess I won't have to because it's gonna basically tell me that it can't boot. Of course, now watch, you guys are here. It's gonna boot just fine. I always wait for the fans to spin up before I change the monitor. That tells me basically that it's far enough in the boot that it'll come up on the monitor. Yep, there come the fans. And yep, it comes up as alert HDD fan 1 fail. Wait a minute. HDD fan 1 failure. Like I even care about that. I wonder if that's the problem. I didn't even notice that before. That's got to be the problem. So there's got to be a way that I can turn that off. I can't even believe that. I'm sure that's it. HDD fans. Let's turn it off. This one, for some reason, when I did the test, it said that the HDD fan was coming up as too high of a speed. So, which is fine. I don't really have to have it running. So, you know what? I may have just solved my own problem. So, because you made me read. I can read. I can only read when you guys are in chat, though. All right, let's do an exit. And then let's see what happens. All right, let's see what you guys are saying while we're waiting for that. Are you installing into an NVMe drive? Yes. If yes, be sure that the motherboard NVMe and the NVMe card are the same gen. Yes, they are. I will double check that. But yeah, I don't think that I think we just figured out what the problem was. And I bet now it boots up just fine. Because that was what was different about this particular one. Yep, that was what it was. Boots up just fine. So, again, it wasn't like you guys gave me the answer. I figured it out for myself, but you made me like, hey, let's check this out. And then I decided to read what was on the screen instead of going right past it. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, you idiot. You know that the HDD fan was having, hard drive fan was having an issue during the test. That should have been a dead giveaway. Geek of all trades, you're welcome. Okay, so Geek of all trades is taking credit for everybody who's here. So anyway, all right, well, let's double check, make sure that I can get in via PuTTY, which I should be able to. Come on. Oh, that's because it's on the other screen. All right, I can turn this one off now. There we go. We'll bring it up over here. Okay, what just happened? Oh, that was weird. Okay. That was definitely weird. Yep. And we will log in. And we are logged in. Sudo su clear. Yep. And we are logged in. So, yay. Oh, come on, geek. You're better than that. I mean, who here does not like geeks content? I mean, it's creative. It's hilarious. I don't know. Love it. Glad he joins us on SNL. Brings that comedic delivery to the show on Saturday nights. So, yeah. I appreciate you, geek. Appreciate you, goat. He is the true goat. So anyway, so Robert Burton, I appreciate the thought, but no, it is solved. It's all good. Robert Burton, who is Geek of all trades? He's another YouTuber. If you have not checked him out, check him out. Go down that rabbit hole, watch a bunch of his videos, watch a bunch of his shorts. They're fun to watch. They're fun to watch and educational. Yes. It's good. It's good. Yeah, be careful, Robert Burton. Are you going to get banned? I hope not. Not even going to read that, old Vortec. Don't encourage him, Goat. Don't encourage him. Do not encourage him. Wow, this thing went south really fast. So before it goes any more south, oh, I'm no fun today? Yeah, that's me. That's like, I'm just like the NFL, the no fun league. Alrighty. Well, are there any more questions? Otherwise, I'm going to get to loading this thing up with Vast and get it running and get it downstairs and get it making some money. I need it making some money. Oh, you were just kidding. Okay. I would hope so. He has more followers than I do, but hey, it's possible that I could have people here that aren't over on Goat. But yeah, Goat's awesome. So, and I don't just say that because he provides me the stuff I need. You know, all the 7810s I got from Goat. He didn't give them to me. I bought them, but you know, from the value of sourcing that at such a low price, yeah, I would not have been able to do that. I don't know what he does. He has some type of magic, witchery, wizardry. I don't know, but man, he definitely figures out a way to get people down on price. I have not been able to get anybody down on price. I should actually double check. I was just working a deal and I got to pull up that window. It was not there. It's not that window. 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 It has to be. Wait a minute. Which one is it? It's not that one. God, that just totally like changed things around. It changed where everything was. It's not that one. It's not that one. This is the one. All right, I'm going to pull that up over here though and check my messages on OfferUp. Nope, has not responded. Has not responded. Trying to get a Dell 3090 for a low price. So I have a feeling that a lot of people won't want to buy one, but we'll see. I am asking for a dirt cheap price, but that's the only person that I mailed tonight. I don't want free shipping, dude. It's more like, hey, I also have free ship. Oh, never mind. He was just saying that there's another guy that basically said he had a 3090, but he had one of his fans was failing. He noticed it. And so it was good. I mean, he's an honest guy. I mean, that's obviously important. And he's like, I'm going to send it in for service. And I'm like, well, you know, you don't even have to go through that trouble. I know how to do all that. And if you just give me a discounted price, he's like, no, I'm sending it back to EVGA. They're going to do all the service. I'm like, okay. So they're going to send you back a different card. That could be a lemon. You have no idea. No, thanks. So, yeah. I mean, I suppose it could be a B stock, and I don't know. I just worry about buying one right off of somebody who got something back from warranty. That just to me sounds like trouble. I have bought B stock off of other people, but that's after they've used it for like 6 months to a year. Yeah. So, all right. And let's see. Any other questions? Oh, he grabbed that other. So Geek says he grabbed that other Zotac 3090 yesterday. Sketchy AF, but I got it and only lost 2 fingers in the process. Well, hey, that's all right. I mean, come on. A 3090 is definitely worth tips of 2 fingers. But now you don't have as many tips to give. Anyway, so 9 of your 10 rigs are rented. Nice. Like I said, how many do I have? 5. I mean, I have like 6 is technically because I've got one on Proxmox and I have the cards on 2 different VMs. So you call those 2 separate. But what I have is I have 5 rigs, and 3 of them have 2 cards in them. So I have 8 GPUs on VAST right now, and I'll have 2 more shortly. So that'll get me to 10 cards. And then with the other 2, I'm trying to get to 12, and I may get to unlucky 13. I think I have enough power down in the basement to do 13 and enough space to do 13. But I'll have to keep an eye on where I'm at. I'm going to add a little bit at a time. I don't want to go above 5,700 watts in the basement. And we'll also see, like, I mean, we're heading into winter, so big deal. We're going to try to heat the house at least a little bit with it. It's been nice. The heat really hasn't kicked on barely at all. I opened up the curtains on the one side to let the heat out. The other side is too close to the window. If I open up those curtains, it's just going to let the cold in and not divert the cold to the other side of the basement. So Geek of All Trades says, I got 3 more on deck, but I need to stop. Maybe I should start going to meetings. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. So opinions on other YouTubers leaning towards ASIC instead of GPUs. I mean, I have my opinions on that. History has shown that if you can get into the first round or 2 of a particular ASIC that is brand new and has new efficiency, much better efficiency, that you will at least break even with that. And it all depends at that point then where the coin comes from. So I don't know. I look at, from what I'm seeing, and I guess it changes because right now you're pricing when the market is still relatively down, and ASICs are gonna go up in price, but so are GPUs. So I don't know. I'm not interested in ASICs for one reason, or one main reason, because they're loud. I don't have a place other than I mean, I do have other places I can go. I could send it to Terra. I could do those things, but I'd like to focus on what I have here, because I want to learn from it. And honestly, I just think GPU mining rigs are just more interesting. For me, it's not just about the money, it's the hobby. And ASICs, I know other people aren't like, I'm just in it for the money. Okay, then maybe ASICs are for you and you want to take the risk. And there is definitely some risk associated with ASICs. I mean, if you're going to invest in ASICs when Bitcoin's at 80,000, it's not the top of the market when it's there, but you start investing in Bitcoin ASICs when it's at 80,000, you just might not make your money back by the time the next bear market comes, because the cost of those ASICs is going to be so much higher. Now, other guys that are buying ASICs now are banking on the fact that, yes, they can make money now or whenever they get it. So if you're talking about the S21, you're not going to get until, I think, first quarter next year at the earliest. So yeah, you get it then, and you're going to immediately be making money. Well, making a profit, which earning towards the break-even point. And a year later, Bitcoin's probably going to have reached its all-time high and surpassed it at that point, or maybe be on its way to doing that. So at that point, when Bitcoin is doubled in price, yeah, the cost of those ASICs is pretty much going to double at that point, because ASIC pricing is all based upon where the price of the coin is. Yeah, I mean, I can do both, but I don't know. To me, when you're putting so much money in one thing, I mean, yes, this GPU was $1,800, more than I've ever spent on a GPU before, but I can't put an ASIC on Vast AI. I specifically got that GPU to put on Vast AI because, as I showed, I have a business case. And that business case, while isn't guaranteed, it should, as the cost of price of coins goes up, that means more people will be getting into mining. It means that more people will want to rent hash rate, rent out machines to rent hash rate. So Vast AI isn't all about AI. It's also renting out, and in essence, renting out hash rate. You're renting out your machine for them to do whatever they want with it, and a lot of them choose to mine with it. So they have the ability to do that as well. Joker Miner, hello, how are you? All right, well, I guess I'll forgive you just this once. Yes, Terra Hosting. That is what I was speaking of, Hawk. Anyway, hang on. He had asked me, hey, if you want to come on now, since you're here, and ask your question, because I didn't really understand what you were trying to get at with what you talked to me about. If you would like, put it in chat and I can give you an invite. All right, let's see who else. So Team JFK says, what motherboard and CPU are you using? It depends. I had a 5950X. So for my 4070 and 3070 rig, I have a 5950X because that's what I had. I had gotten it for CPU mining and decided I would just give each card 8 cores. Now, what I could do with that, I could redeploy it. I'd have to get back, all my reliability factors would have to basically start over again because I'd have to basically recreate a machine. But I could do 4 cores on each or 6 cores on each and then mine with the other ones by making another VM with those cores. So there's lots of flexibility with that. This one behind me is not just a Vast AI rig. It also has 4 Flux nodes on it. So I've got Proxmox on it with 5 VMs on it. And chump changes, I'm sure gone at this point, thank God, because otherwise he'd be going, dude, when video? Yeah, I know. I will be putting out a video on that at some point. I have a couple other videos I want to put out first, but it is in the plans. I was just really exhausted this weekend. This time of year is just bad for me. It's that period of time when the temperature drops and the humidity goes up and my sinuses go, I don't like this. And so I get headaches and that type of thing. Until we get the first freeze or the first couple of freezes, then I'm fine. Then winter's wonderful at that point. So it's just this time of year that I struggle a little bit with how I feel. And like I said, it really kind of hit me this weekend. Don't want you to feel sorry for me or anything, but I was really having trouble keeping my eyes open at times. And Joker Miner, no, not during Saturday Night Live this weekend. So there you go. Let's see. So Paddock Miner says, using Vast to pay electricity and buy hardware cannot countenance paying capital gains if I invest in crypto. Countenance? I do not know the meaning of that word. And maybe that wasn't what you meant. Yeah, if you can clarify, Paddywhack. So yes, I can use Vast because remember, the electricity is an expense, no matter what it's used for. Well, I mean, if it's used for making money, running your machines that are making money for you, then you can use all of that cost of electricity as a expense against that income. So, and if you buy hardware, you can also expense that against your income as well. Trust me, I'm not too worried about the money being made this year. It's not a lot, that's for sure. So Panic Miner says, I'm converting all of my CPU rigs and 3900X and B450 combos. The way I'm setting it up, yes. I'm letting it, so when you go through the Ubuntu server install, it will have basically 2 partitions that it is suggesting. The first one, which is the EFI, which is like 1 meg or something. It's really small. And then the next one, which is if you go along with it, it will just take the rest of the drive for Ubuntu. You don't want to do that when you're installing VAST. You want to give it 50 gig. So you change that amount to 50 gig. Once you've changed it, then you'll see where it says the rest of it, like on a 2 terabit drive, it was like 1.76 is free. So that when you go to install VAST, it's going to see that that is free and use that part leftover part of the drive as what it's going to use. So that has worked for me. And if you want help with the install of VAST, I highly recommend becoming a Kingsman with Mining King. He has a guide that is worth its weight in gold. So just saying, if you are looking for help, trust me, it's worth it to subscribe to him and get that that freebie. I don't want to say freebie, but get that benefit. It's a huge benefit if you're interested. Well, okay. Good night, goat. Good night, ladies. Sure. Yeah, I said I was going to start getting off of the stream about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, and I'm still here. Let's see if there's any other questions. Otherwise, I will be ending the stream. Maybe I'll actually get some sleep tonight because this shouldn't take that long to finish. Oh, Ovalbor Tech, you want me to keep going? Is that it? Oh, sorry, didn't see it. What do I tell you, Ovalbor? What do I tell you? Tag me, or are you on mobile? You're forgiven if you're on mobile. I shouldn't tell you that because now I'm just giving you an out, and you're just going to say you're on mobile, even though you may not be. Anyway, so I have not put it on yet. Where is it? It's around here on my desk. Right now my desk is a complete mess with all the stuff I installed, but it was on my desk just a little while ago. Oh no, here it is. Yep, here it is. Still in the box. So I do need to install it. Haven't done it yet. GBS, yeah, again, on sunny days, it works great. It works great. But Overboard Tech. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Dad. I'll do better next time. Gave me Smoky Dan. Mac's too young to be my dad. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I know that there's a few of you out there that are as old as I am or older. Nothing wrong with a little bit of age. I think as old guys, what I should say, us older guys in this, Overboard Tech, you are not even close mentally. I'm old. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean experienced and that type of thing? You mean wisdom? Or do you mean like you lost your memory? Yes. And yes, it is wisdom. It's gathered wisdom. And yeah, ask any 50-year-old man, like, what would you do if you were in your 20s and you know now, or if you had what you know now when you were in your 20s, what would you do differently? And yeah, there's of course the whole thing is, oh, well, I'd go back and memorize some of the, I'd go back and look up the lottery numbers, or I go back and buy Bitcoin, or, all those types of things. No, that's not what it's about. It's the knowledge that you have from life experience. What would you do differently going back in your life? It's not about regrets. It's about you accept the journey that you had, but if you had the knowledge and the wisdom and you went back, what would you do differently? And it's a very philosophical question. And I think it's good for people to hear that. I know at 20, thought I knew everything. Well, I did. That's because I did, but no, that's the thing. You understand at 50 that you knew nothing at 20, 25. You did not know a lot. I was lucky. I had some great experiences in my 20 that did give me some very quick wisdom. Things that took some prejudices away from me. at a very young age. So yeah, I'd go back in time and tag max voltage. That was very good, Overtech. Yeah, you just go back about 30 minutes ago and tag me. That would be a very good plan and great acquired wisdom. When I say at the beginning of every stream that if you want me to respond to you, that you should tag me. Oh, well, you're good for more than that, Ovalbor, but yeah, you are definitely good for comic relief, and I appreciate that. You and Goat are both good for that. Anyway, actually, my daughter was up in your neck of the woods this weekend. She flew to Minneapolis to go to a party with college friends and then flew back the next day. So I spent a lot of time on the road dropping off. Well, I didn't drop off my wife at the airport because my daughter did that for me. Then I dropped off my daughter at the airport on Saturday, picked her up from the airport on Sunday, and then thankfully I will just stay late at work on Wednesday because my wife is coming home on Wednesday. So there you go. Robert Burton says, I would care about money less and focus more on enhancing my knowledge, would pay more attention to the people I hang out with, and invest less in people that do not deserve me. Yeah, good, very good ideas, that's for sure. Yeah, there's no reason to, somebody's dragging you down, and not saying you abandon people, that you don't abandon people that have been loyal to you and been a loyal friend, but if they are unwilling to change their ways and do things to make themselves better and stop complaining and all that kind of stuff, yeah, then it may just be time to move on. So, okay. Mia and Milo mining. Stay away from anyone named Josiah here. Is there somebody named Josiah here? I guess I didn't see if there was, but anyway. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call a stream. It has almost been an hour and a half. Gosh, time flies when I'm having fun. Hope you guys did too. If you like this kind of content, although probably anybody that was here earlier probably left, but hopefully I got a few new subscribers since I saw some new people. But anyway, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe, hit that like button on the way out, and we will see you next Monday. The General is out.